Welcome back to Unstoppable Mind Today, where we unlock the hidden potential within your soul to conquer every life challenge. Meet Kabir, a young man trapped in the shadows of lethargy, wasting his precious potential while the sun shines bright outside. His surroundings reflected his inner chaos, a cluttered space filled with distractions that kept him from achieving any real, meaningful progress. Every morning began the same way, scrolling mindlessly through screens, feeding his brain with temporary dopamine instead of facing the real world. His father watched from the doorway, his heart heavy with grief, seeing his talented son waste away his youth in laziness. Kabir chose to ignore the silent pleas of his family, turning his back on responsibility to seek comfort in his isolation. He surrounded himself with friends who had no direction, people who celebrated mediocrity and pulled him further away from his true purpose. Laughter filled the air, but it was hollow, masking the growing void inside Kabir's heart that he desperately tried to ignore. As the day ended, the temporary high faded, leaving him alone with his thoughts and a heavy sense of unfulfilled potential. He looked into the mirror and saw a stranger, a shadow of the man he was supposed to be, lost and broken. Sleep evaded him as the ghosts of his wasted time returned to haunt him, whispering fears of failure into his ears. The next morning, a glimmer of curiosity struck him as he noticed an old book that promised wisdom to the seeker. He read about a wise guru living in the mountains who possessed the secret to mastering the mind and finding true peace. Driven by a desperate need for change, Kabir packed his bag, ready to leave his comfort zone and find the answers. The journey was not easy, symbolizing the uphill battle he was about to face in his quest to conquer his inner self. Every step was a struggle, but the memory of his father's disappointed eyes pushed him to keep moving forward despite the pain. Finally, he reached the summit, where a humble dwelling stood in silence, radiating a sense of peace he had never known. There sat the guru, a figure of absolute stillness, appearing as timeless as the ancient mountains that surrounded his humble home. Kabir approached with hesitation, feeling the weight of his past mistakes heavily upon his shoulders in the presence of such wisdom. He fell to his knees and confessed his struggle, admitting that his own mind had become his greatest enemy in life. The master opened his eyes, looking not just at Kabir, but through him, understanding the turmoil that raged within his heart. With a gentle smile, the guru spoke, telling Kabir that his true battle was not with the world, but with focus. He offered no complex theories, simply handing Kabir a white candle, a tool that would become the instrument of his transformation. The instruction was simple yet profound. Observe the flame, let go of all thoughts, and become one with the dancing light. Kabir looked at the candle with doubt, wondering how such a trivial task could possibly fix the broken pieces of his life. The master added one more rule: conquer the morning by making the bed, a small victory to start the day right. Though skepticism remained, Kabir agreed to the challenge, knowing he had nowhere else to turn to save his future. That night, in the silence of his room, Kabir lit the candle, attempting to focus his wandering mind on the flame. But within seconds, his mind rebelled, flooded with images of games and friends, pulling him away from the present moment. Frustration bubbled up as he struggled to keep his eyes open, realizing how weak his mental discipline had truly become. He blew out the flame in anger, collapsing onto his bed, feeling the bitter taste of defeat on his first night. The sun rose, and Kabir woke up late again, staring at his messy sheets, the guru's voice echoing in his mind. Reluctantly, he began to fold the sheets, a small act of order in his chaotic world, marking his first tiny victory. On the second night, he lit the candle again, holding his focus for a mere 30 seconds before his mind wandered. Dark whispers of self-doubt circled him, telling him he was destined to fail. Testing his resolve to stick to the path, he took a deep breath, channeling the memory of the guru's peace, and forced his gaze back to the steady flame. A week passed, and the morning ritual of making his bed became easier, a habit forming slowly in the morning light. As his bed became tidy, so did his room. Order began to replace chaos, creating a space where his mind could breathe. He sat before the candle again, and this time, the storm in his mind quieted, allowing him to see the flame clearly. The noise of the world faded into the background, leaving him in a state of stillness he had never experienced before. Temptation rang his phone, but for the first time, Kabir chose his future over temporary pleasure. Silencing the call, he opened his books and found that the focus he practiced with the flame was now transferring to his studies effortlessly. The lazy mornings were replaced by sunrise runs, his body waking up with energy and purpose, ready to seize the day. His physical transformation mirrored his mental shift. Healthy choices replaced toxic habits, fueling his body for the challenges ahead. He returned to the mountain, not as a broken boy, but as a young man, standing tall with newfound confidence. The guru smiled, seeing the fire in Kabir's eyes, knowing that the student had finally learned to master his own spirit. They sat together in silence, a shared understanding that true power comes not from force, but from a disciplined, focused mind. The big exams approached, and Kabir faced them with a calm demeanor, his preparation fueled by months of disciplined focus. When he looked at his questions, he saw solutions clearly, his mind cutting through confusion just as a flame cuts through darkness. Walking into the exam hall, he felt a sense of peace. While others panicked, he carried the stillness of the mountain. His pen moved across the paper with precision, the result of countless hours of training his mind to obey his command. Outside the gates, his father waited with bated breath, hoping against hope that his son had finally found his way. When Kabir emerged, his smile told the whole story, a radiant expression of confidence that his father had never seen before. Tears welled up in his father's eyes as he embraced his son, pride swelling in his chest for the man Kabir became. The candle flame became a symbol of his life, burning bright and steady, unaffected by the winds of distraction and chaos. He understood now that discipline was not a cage, but the key that unlocked the door to ultimate freedom and success. The boy who once slept while the sun shone was gone, replaced by a man who greeted every dawn with purpose. He wrote in his journal a simple truth: discipline is not punishment. It is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The flame that once frustrated him was now his greatest teacher, reminding him daily to stay present and stay focused. His relationship with his father flourished, built on a foundation of mutual respect and the joy of shared productive moments. He learned to say no to things that didn't matter, so he could say yes to the things that truly did. Even when storms came, Kabir kept moving, his discipline acting as a shield against the unpredictability of life's challenges. He looked in the mirror and finally loved the person staring back, a man forged in the fires of self-discipline. He stood before others and shared his truth, inspiring a new generation to wake up and take control of their lives. When asked for the secret to his success, he simply smiled and pointed to the power of a single, focused thought. He told them that the greatest battle is not fought on a battlefield, but in the quiet moments of the morning. It starts with the bed. It starts with the candle. It starts with the decision to be better than you were yesterday. Success was not an accident for Kabir. It was the natural result of 1,000 small choices made with intention. He kept the memory of the guru close, a constant reminder that guidance is useless without the will to apply it. He saw others lost in the same fog he once was, and he silently hoped they too would find their flame. He stopped to help a child, knowing that a little guidance at the right moment can change the trajectory of a life. In the boy's smile, he saw his own potential, realizing that we all have the capacity to change if we try. When he spoke, people listened, captivated by the clarity and focus that he brought to every word and every idea. Applause filled the room, but Kabir remained humble, knowing that the real reward was the internal peace he had achieved. Sharing tea with his father under the moonlight, they celebrated the bond that had been healed by Kabir's remarkable transformation. He realized that life does not change by chance. It changes when we decide to change our daily habits and thoughts. Like the candle flame that stands straight in a still room, a disciplined mind remains unshaken by the chaos of the world. He penned the final chapter of his past, ready to write a new story, filled with endless possibilities and new horizons. His journey from a lazy boy to a man of focus is a testament to the power that lies within us all. With the sunrise, he walked along the shore, knowing that every new day is a blank canvas waiting for his discipline. Just as a stone creates ripples in the water, his disciplined life created waves of positive influence on everyone around him. He breathed in the vastness of the ocean, feeling an infinite energy that matched the limitless potential of his disciplined mind. He was no longer a slave to the ticking clock. Instead, he made every second count towards building a legacy of greatness. His body was a temple, honed by consistency and effort, capable of carrying him through any challenge life could throw. In the silence of meditation, he found the answers that noise could never provide, connecting deeply with the rhythm of the universe. With a smile, he ran towards the horizon, chasing dreams that were now within his reach, thanks to the power of discipline. Remember, my friends, discipline is the golden key that unlocks the door to the life you have always dreamed of living. Be like the candle, burn with purpose and focus, and you will illuminate the path for yourself and those around you. You have the same power within you right now. It is waiting for you to wake up and claim your destiny. Take the first step today. Make your bed, light your candle, focus your mind, and watch your world transform before you. Join the movement of unstoppables who refuse to settle for mediocrity and choose to build a life of excellence and purpose. The city shines bright, but the brightest light is the one that burns within a disciplined and focused human soul. Thank you for joining us on this journey. May you find the strength to master your mind and conquer your world. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Thank you for watching Unstoppable Mind today. Subscribe for more life-changing stories.